Okay, well, next day, and I'm basically done. Just doing some fine adjustments with a thin, flexible craft knife. Good tip for blades, try to get ones that are made in Taiwan or Japan. Try to avoid the ones made in China, they're often not sharp. But yeah, basically just carved out a bit around the eyes and sort of made the cheeks a bit more defined. Basically now I've just got to sort of maybe remove a bit of material here, just got to think about how I'm actually going to remove it from the paper mache once I've paper mache'd over it. What I plan to do is cover it in cling film or glad wrap, or I think you Americans call it saran wrap. So I'll cover it in that as a sort of as a mould release. Sort of just tape it down over strategic areas and then paper mache over that, and sort of just pop right out when I'm done. So yeah. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do with the jaw. I think I might make the mask with the jaw structure, and then if I have the time, cut the jaw off as a separate piece and then figure out some way of attaching it so it's articulatable with my chin. That'd be pretty cool. Should grab myself some plastic modelling clay like Fimo or something and make myself a little rabbit nose, because that's sort of what gives it its interesting curve, is the point of the rabbit nose sort of just helps to give it that sort of ski slope look. I reckon that's pretty good. Probably what I have to do is, for the you've seen previously I had drawn sort of an angle here. What I'll probably have to do is, in here will be like a white mesh that I can use to give myself a bit more frontal vision. You probably didn't hear any of that because I had my bloody finger over the microphone. So I'm going to add some mesh here, just to give myself a bit more frontal vision. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. Pretty good for the first attempt. I don't think I could have done it without the using the toy as a reference. Would have required a lot of extra planning, because getting these subtle curves, you really have to understand how animal skulls work, and I'm not really at that point. Probably shaved a little too much off the cheekbones, off the cheek muscles there, but I think it's okay. I don't want to make it look too bulbous, so anyway, okay, you can see what I've sort of done here. I've wrapped it in handy wrap, just then sort of lunch plastic wrap. And I've just tacked it down with masking tape, wrapped it around, because as we discussed earlier, PVA will stick to polystyrene, and I plan to use PVA as the glue for the paper mache. So yeah, need something to release it from this, otherwise I'll never be able to get the master out. So yeah, I put sort of bracing around the nose and the cheeks just to hold the wrap down while I paper mache over it, otherwise I will lose a lot of the fidelity. Maybe to do something with that. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the eyes, but we'll find out. Maybe just really sort of stretch them in there. I think that'll be alright. Having a think about it, what I might do is just put just enough paper mache over it to give it some strength. Take the mould out and then remove the glad wrap and actually paper mache on the inside to give it strength, thus preserving the fidelity of the outside. Because if I put an enormous amount of paper mache on the outside, every layer is going to reduce the definition of the curves. So you put on one layer, another layer, and keep going, you just get a flat line. So if I just do maybe 2 or 3 layers on top, then strengthen it inside, that should hopefully preserve the shape. Still not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the jaw, but I think we'll be alright. Of course, what I plan to do after that is, when I get the paper mache masked to a certain state, I'm going to drench it in sanding sealer, which is a polyurethane, and that should really harden it up. It should be like should come out like a resin. Alright, I better get on with this. Okay, we're back again. Ended up using the PVA, watered down just enough. It was actually really good glue. A lot less messy than traditional wallpaper paste, which just goes everywhere. Should be stronger too. So you can see what we've done here. We've lost a little bit of fidelity around the eyes. I'm hoping I can correct that after I just get a bit of strength into it after it's dried. I'm just going to finish the sides here. Yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm not sure entirely how I'm going to remove the mould afterwards. I may end up having to cut the entire thing into 2 halves and then stick it back together, which wouldn't be terrible. As I plan to cover this in felt afterwards. I do have some sticky back felt and some regular white felt. So I want it to look quite sleek. I don't really want it to look furry. If the felt doesn't look good, I might try and find some really short pile fur and actually like make it like a sock and fit over the whole thing. So yeah, so I'll just finish that up and that'll go in the hot water cupboard to dry all night. And I might start on the ears. Well, all done for the first layer. Not looking too bad. I'm hoping I might be able to, after I thicken it up, might be able to sand some more definition to it, and even then if I really need to really enhance things, I can use some builder's fill, which is it's a 2-part hard settings styrene designed to fill up woodwork, but you can also sculpt with it to a certain extent. It's a bit brittle though, so it's perhaps not the greatest, but if I need to fill out some areas, it should be, by the time I cover it, of course, it's probably going to be fine. So, I mean, or I could use some putty or something like that, some Themo again, or even some plaster. Yeah. So that's ready to go in the hot water cupboard, and I'll just start on the next layer tomorrow. So, well, I've got the rest of the evening, so I might start on the ears.